Hello and welcome back to my blog. We're on to part 4 of a brief but bright illumination of the truth about the income tax. Pete Hendrickson. And I sure wish I could do justice of his writing. I hope you can. It's really hard to read legalese like this. But here we go. Now let's briefly look at another key element of the tax law, the meaning of the term, quote, trade or business, end quote. The definition given in the law to this otherwise very misleading phrase at 26 U.S.C. section 7701 is 26, trade or business. The term, quote, trade or business, end quote, includes the performance of the functions of a public office. Understanding the rules of construction applicable to statutory definitions, we see that what is meant by the conduct of a trade or business in the context of tax law is conduct illustrated by the example, the performance of the functions of a public office. Because of the use of includes, this specification can be deemed inclusive of any activity of the same character as the performance of the functions of a public office. But whether there is or even could be anything else meeting that rather quirky description is immaterial. If there is such an activity, it is included, but much more to the point, nothing else is included. Just as W-2s are explicitly confined to reports of only statutorily defined wage payments and reports made on the forms of payments which really don't qualify as such wages are therefore erroneous, the statutory reporting requirements of trade or business payments are narrowly and carefully confined. Emphasis added. Section 6041, Information at Source. A. Payments of $600 or more. All persons engaged in a trade or business and making payment in the course of such trade or business to another person of rent, salaries, wages, premiums, annuities, compensations, remunerations, emoluments, or other fixed or determinable gains, profits, and income of $600 or more shall render a true and accurate return. End of that quote. Plainly, if this language weren't designed to invoke and be limited by the special definition of trade or business, this section would read, Section 6041, Information at Source. A. Payments of $600 or more. All businesses making payments to another person of rent, salaries, wages, premiums, annuities, compensations, remunerations, emoluments, or other fixed or determinable gains, profits, and income of $600 or more shall render a true and accurate return. Other related statutory specifications are the same. Section 6041A. Returns regarding payments of remuneration for services and direct sales. A. Returns regarding remuneration for services. If 1. Any service recipient engaged in a trade or business pays in the course of such trade or business during any calendar year remuneration to any person for services performed by such person, and 2. The aggregate of such remuneration paid to such person during such calendar year is $600 or more, then the service recipient shall make a return. Plainly, if this language weren't designed to invoke and be limited by the special definition of trade or business, this section would relevantly read, if any business pays during any calendar year remuneration to any person for services performed by such person. The instructions accompanying the reporting forms themselves are even more explicit. Trade or business reporting only. Report on Form 1099, MISC, M-I-S-C, only when payments are made in the course of your trade or business. We see then that the application of the tax to what really qualifies as the proceeds of a, quote, trade or business, end quote, is in precise harmony with the real meaning of, quote, wages, end quote. Both are confined to exercise of governmental economic activities. That confinement is, in turn, in harmony with what the very name of the tax itself shouts out to anyone who actually gives it a moment's thought. It is, after all, plainly declared to be a, quote, federal income, end quote, tax. That confinement is also in complete harmony with and illustrative of the nature and limits of the tax as imposed by the U.S. Constitution in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, and Section 9, Clause 4. Is your head exploding yet? It should be. We'll finish up tomorrow. Make it a great day, and bye for now.